Yo, 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 what's going on, Parallel family? You already know. Hope you got them pearled up. We finna check out these. I ain't gonna even start off with the TikToks tonight. Let's start off with something different. So, I see Rap Daily put something up about Lil Durk. Let's see how true. Let's see what he talking about. Let's see what he talking about with Lil Durk. We know he going through a situation right now. We know Durk going through it right now, bro. Prayers for him, bro.
All you gotta do
Prayers
is
for Durk right now, man.
Oh, you've never used samples like this before.
Let me show you why I stopped.
Related to a murder for hire plot. It appears the rapper who once traveled by private jet is now confined to the four corner walls of the prison. Court report says, if convicted, Durk is facing a statutory maximum sentence of life in federal prison. According to jail records, 32-year-old rapper Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Banks, was booked into the Broward County Jail pending charges of murder for hire. This occurred after the U.S. District Attorney in Los Angeles filed an indictment against the rapper and 5 other members of Only the Family, OTF. The indictment charged them with alleged conspiracy to murder for hire, resulting in death, and the use of a machine gun, also resulting in death. The charges claim these men arranged to travel across state lines to carry out the alleged attack against Quando Rondo's Circle in 2022.
There are now 5 people in custody who weren't in custody before. 5 people who were alleged to have committed a murder in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon in the city of Chicago.
Here's the gist. Federal agents connected 5 OTF members to the August 2022 shooting in Los Angeles that killed Quando Rondo's cousin. Records show that Quando Rondo was the target of the operation as it was in retaliation for King Von's death. As it turned out, it appears the feds have been looking for a substantial link connecting the big fish, Lil Durk, to the murder for hire charge labeled on his affiliates. Somehow, the feds knew the crime was a continuation of the tragic events that unfolded in 2020 at the premises of Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, which led to the death of Lil Durk's bestie, King Von. Now, I think the feds need no informant to tell them that if it concerns King Von's death, Lil Durk definitely called the shots. I think it was only a matter of time before the feds connected Lil Durk to the August 2022 shooting, especially when the feds indicted and arrested those 5 OTF members for the hit. I knew the paperwork and evidence to take down Lil Durk was piling up. No wonder Lil Durk was hit with the most devastating events of his career as soon as the feds got what they wanted.
Durk has been locked up in Broward County Jail. He's there right now. This is this. Yes, Broward. He's in Florida. I got the whole thing on. Look on my stream. I got it. Oh my God, bro.
As expected, DJ Academics was among the first
It's a over U.S. Marshals.
people to break the news of Durk's arrest to the industry. After making a video about the situation, he tweeted, "Breaking: Lil Durk has been arrested by U.S. Marshals and held in Broward County Correctional Facility until he's extradited to California for his federal charge. His charge is murder for hire for the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, LULKB." When Cat Williams said 2024 was the year of truth, he really was not capping. In a not-so-shocking turn of events, OTF is on the road to RICO. A new filing implicates OTF as a criminal organization. According to the indictment, Co-Conspirator 1 would place a bounty on individuals that Co-Conspirator 1 and other OTF members wanted to kill, including TB. Quando Rondo is referred to as TB. It proceeds to allege that, as part of the bounty, co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Wilson, would pay anyone who took part in the killing of TB and or reward individuals with lucrative music opportunities with OTF. Oh no, dude, Lil Durk is so cooked. I think Lil Durk is referenced in the indictment as Co-Conspirator 3. Check this out. Using a credit card associated with OTF, Co-Conspirator 3 would purchase airline tickets for the co-conspirators to fly to California and murder TB. Prosecutors say the same credit card was used to book hotel accommodations for the assailants, and the card was allegedly issued under a bank account that listed Durk's one-time manager as an owner. It was also reported that another credit card was issued under the same account to Lil Durk's father. But then, how did the plan go? Well, according to the reports, it went south. The indictment confirms that defendant Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 would fire multiple shots at TB, killing SR, who was a passenger in TB's vehicle. If you've been following this gist, then you need no interpreter to tell you that SR is Lul Pab. Now, if you remember, after the attack on Quando Rondo's camp killing Lul Pab, word on the street was someone snitched on Rondo's location. Aha, the street is never wrong because according to the indictment, Overact number 2, on August 18th, 2022, one or more conspirators, including co-conspirator 4, learned that TB was visiting California and staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. So the big question now is, who snitched? But before you you go beating yourself over that puzzle, let's look at how the indictment described the tragic events of the day. According to the feds, the killer squad, using 2 cars, including one without a registered license plate, worked in tandem to track, stalk, and attempt to murder TB at a gas station located in Los Angeles. During the attack, the conspirators allegedly fired at least 18 rounds at TB's vehicle, several of which hit and killed Lil Pap. After the deed was done, prosecutors reported that the killer squad later...
Man, Dirk. Man, bro. Had the world, I ain't gonna say it like that, but you had the world in the palm of your hands.
A restaurant where they scrambled payment for the attack and then made one last mistake. At dawn, they allegedly used the same OTF-linked credit card to obtain flight tickets to Chicago, but that was not all. In an unexpected turn of events, Lil Durk's murder-for-hire trial was postponed to October 2025 from its original date of January 7th, 2025, after both the prosecution and defense agreed the case was so unusual and so complex and required extra time. According to news reports, discovery for the case includes more than 230 gigabytes of digital evidence and over 20K pages of reports about murder and other violent acts, photographs, witness statements, and medical documents. But this was not the main reason the trial was pushed back. It was something bigger. The postponement was called after an FBI agent in Chicago filed a newly unsealed affidavit last year, connecting Lil Durk to another murder-for-hire plot. Although Lil Durk is not yet charged for that, the affidavit cited text messages and social media exchanges between 2 individuals discussing payment from Durk. The affidavit revealed the payment in question was for the 2022 murder of Stefan Mack, a 24-year-old gangster disciple gang leader. Word on the street says the hit was retaliation for the murder of Lil Durk's brother, D-Thang. In June 2021, Lil Durk's brother, D-Thang, was shot and killed allegedly by a gangster disciple member. It seems he always slid for his brothers. The FBI agent cited the hit by alleging in the affidavit that Durk was, and still is, offering money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder, including his longtime ops, gangster disciples members. Lil Durk's legal team's effort to get him out of jail and pre-trial release has been unsuccessful. This is largely because prosecutors used the FBI agent's unsealed affidavit as evidence that Durk is not fit for pre-trial release. In a filing, prosecutors claim the unsealed affidavit underscores why the defendant cannot be released pending his trial. Let's not forget that Lil Durk is in this mess right now because he was triggered by the Slide for Vaughn campaign by fans, urging him to get back at the folks who killed his bestie.
Here it is. It says, the charges mark the latest fallout from the high-profile killing of King Von. They connecting dots.
What this means is that prosecutors have reasons to believe the case has deeper roots in a long-standing conflict. The altercation between Quando Rondo's crew and King Von in 2020 ended with Von's tragic death in Atlanta. When I was researching this case, I came across a comment from a YouTube user that is significant for its subtle observation. It's truly unfortunate that all this mess is happening because of an ego-filled 2020, and it's even pathetic to see that what is left of that unfortunate occurrence is nothing but a bowl of consequences that Durk might live with for the rest of his life. But you cannot blame Durk. To fully understand why Durk had to slide for Von, let me tell you about the connection Durk shared with his friend, King Von. The evil twin, Von and Durk. Lil Durk, legally known as Durk Derrick Banks, was born on the 19th of October, 1992, and grew up...
I don't know, man. I hope bro get out this situation, man. It ain't looking too good for him. It ain't looking too good for him, bro. What 50 and Big Meech got going on? They've been tweaking in there for a minute,
for
bro.
Big Meech's throat over fresh snitching allegations, as new documents seem to expose Meech as the real informant in Cuffy's case.
In those affidavits, it tells Meech's full role.
Yet Big Meech isn't backing down. He firmly claims that there's no substantial evidence tying him to being a snitch.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the time.
In this video, we're breaking down the allegations, the evidence, and everything you need to know about this explosive feud. 50 Cent calls Big Meech a rat. All the fanfare from former crime boss Demetrius Big Meech Flannery's early release from jail last October has disappeared and has now been replaced by snitching allegations. Barely 2 days after his release from jail, Dion Gatling, aka Cuffy, Big Meech's longtime friend and former business partner, called out Meech, accusing him of snitching on him to get a reduced sentence for himself. As the drama surrounding Big Meech's alleged snitching raged on, the former drug kingpin found himself in the middle of another storm when he began feuding with rapper 50 Cent. The two had previously enjoyed a close relationship after his release from jail, but their bromance was short-lived, and they now find themselves on opposing sides of the snitching scandal. In his usual manner, 50 Cent drew the first blood when he launched a scathing attack on Big Meech in a February 3rd, 2025 Instagram post, accusing him of snitching and going on to tease a tell-all documentary about him. In the post, the Many Men rapper, who produces the Starz hit TV series BMF about Meech's Black Mafia family criminal organization, suggested that the recently freed former mafia boss had broken the street code. The post included a picture of a rat which had a text that read, "I think I'm Big Meech." This was a clear reference.
Let's talk about cell phone plans. Can't believe I'm actually...
Hey, 50 Cent be tweaking, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He be tweaking, bro. He the biggest troll.
To Rick Ross' hit 2010 single BMF, Blowing Money Fast, which was inspired by Big Meech's exploits during his drug organization's iconic reign. Furthermore, the caption of the post also saw 50 hinting at a possible documentary involving Big Meech's former personal assistant Tammy Cowens, who is a known federal informant and producer on the hit series BMF. The caption read, "The biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy Cowen. Her tell-all docu reveals the truth." 50 Cent's recent fallout with Big Meech may be linked to Meech appearing in a video with 50's rival Rick Ross, promoting a welcome back concert celebrating Meech's release from prison. The event was scheduled to go down on February 13th at the Amerant Bank Arena and had several artists billed to perform, which included Lil Baby, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, 42 Doug, Moneybagg Yo, Kodak Black, T Grizzly, SG, Uzi, and many more. Rick Ross was also scheduled to perform BMF for Big Meech for the first time. Unfortunately, 50's Waithy took all of the shine off the announcement of the concert. Even though there was no real evidence to suggest that the snitching allegations were true, the social media platforms ran with the story, and before long, a court document surfaced online that seemingly showed that Big Meech may have enlisted the help of Tammy Cowens to snitch on Cuffy in a grand scheme to get himself out of jail earlier than his sentencing. The document revealed that Big Meech introduced Cowens to Cuffy to transact illicit drug dealings on his behalf, but she later provided details of their dealings to the feds. Ironically, this is the same Tammy Cowens who has now seemingly turned on Big Meech. With her tell-all documentary in the works alongside 50 Cent, it's becoming increasingly likely that more details about this third-party cooperation deal will come to light in the coming days. In the meantime, 50 Cent has continued trolling Big Meech on social media. Barely a few hours after implying that Meech was a rat, 50 shared another post on Instagram that included a video in which he imposed Meech's head onto a man admitting he snitched. In the caption of the since-deleted post, 50 Cent again teased that he was collaborating with Tammy Cowens on a documentary. He wrote, "He had Tammy Cowen doing all his dirty work, her new tell-all break it down, Screech directed her, and connected her to people to get his time cut." After waves of attacks from 50 Cent that continued over 48 hours, Big Meech finally broke his silence in a February 5th, 2025 Instagram post. In the post, Meech shared a picture of himself and 50 Cent when the rapper came to visit him at his home after he was released from prison back in October 2024. In the picture, the two appeared to be having a good time and had their arms draped over each other's shoulders. However, 50's face had been edited out and replaced with a cartoonish image of a rat holding onto a slice of cheese. At the same time, the caption "Internet Gangster" repeatedly popped up across.
Listen, if you've been...
This man, 50 Cent is crazy, bro. Y'all too old for this though, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Finished up by adding Ja Rule's 2003 hit track Clapback, a diss song that was directed at 50 Cent and Eminem. Unfortunately for Meech, his attempt to get back at 50 didn't have his desired outcome as fans took to the comment section of the post to slam the former drug kingpin for seemingly betraying the person who put food on his table. One of the top comments read, "He's not an internet gangster, he's a guy who made your son very famous and added a bigger legacy to your name. And you did business with an opposition of his who did nothing for you but shout you out in a song." The fan was referring to Big Meech, recently linking up with 50 Cent's longtime rival Rick Ross to promote his Welcome Back concert. This was seen as an act of betrayal by 50, and many fans feel the rapper is justified in his reaction. Interestingly, the back and forth between 50 and Meech has possibly reignited the feud between Rose and 50. First, Rick Ross responded to 50 Cent complaining about Meech linking up with him by brutally trolling him in an Instagram live video. Ross began the video by comically imitating his longtime rival. He took a picture with Rick Ross. Ross mimicked while pretending to be crying. He then continued.
That made 50 so mad, boy.
You like a put your back against the wall and just slide down.
A few days later, Ross got back on the trolling bus, and this time he threatened to hijack 50's BMF TV show. While taking to Instagram Live, the rapper let his fans know that he was considering making his own BMF production, and also labeled 50's production as lackluster. He said,
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director?
He then goes on to list a handful of big names, including F. Gary Gray, Antoine Fuqua, and Quentin Tarantino. Ross ends the video by letting out a long laugh before hyping himself up some more and dragging 50 down. Amidst all the drama, another of 50 Cent's foes, Young Buck, has taken the opportunity to take a dig at 50. In a short clip, Buck congratulated Big Meech on his newfound freedom before issuing a warning to you-know-who. He said,
Hey, shout out to Big Meech. Welcome home. Quit playing with dude. Quit playing with dude. You know, I'm gonna say that much.
With Big Meech receiving love from Ross and some other rappers, he finally addressed the snitching allegations circulating on social media, telling fans in a video shared to Instagram that he never folded and never will.
I wasn't gonna address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the time, always with me.
He then concluded the video by promoting his concert and urged fans to come out to the Amerant Arena February 13th. Soon after Meech dropped the video, 50 Cent shared a clip of himself reacting to Meech's video. While playing Meech's video, 50 could be heard countering each of his claims in the background. When Meech says he wouldn't let anybody trick him off the street, 50 responds,
You trick Cuff off the street.
I never folded, never told.
You
never
told
will.
Tammy to tell, bitch.
50 then taunted Meech over his homecoming concert, suggesting that it would be a flop. He said,
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? He can't even go. You on house arrest, he can't even go.
50 Cent doubled down on his claims in the caption, insisting that Meech wouldn't even be attending his own concert. He wrote, if the artists on the bill don't show up, are you gonna want a refund? The rapper added, Big Screech is not even gonna be there. He can't go out after 6 p.m., but don't take my word for it. Go ahead, knock yourself out. 50 would eventually get the last laugh when the concert was canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. But while Meech was still licking his wounds from the canceled show, 50 Cent went ahead to share an audio where rapper and BMF member Blue Da Vinci can be heard saying Tammy Cowens has paperwork and wiretaps on Big Meech. In the audio, Cuffy says,
Tammy Cowens, she's privileged to what's called the affidavits in support of the wiretaps.
Okay.
It's like 3 affidavits. In those affidavits, it tells Meech's full role.
while many of these are still mere allegations, the fact that it's coming from someone who worked with Meech for several years makes it too hard to overlook. But are there any truths to these snitch allegations? And what exactly was Meech's role in how Cuffy ended up in jail? How Big Meech betrayed longtime friend Cuffy. Over the last few weeks, there has been so much talk about Big Meech's alleged snitching, but there has been little or no evidence to back those claims up. However, the court document that recently surfaced online has not only created a new twist in the whole story, but it also draws the link between the leading figures in this controversy. The document exposed a drug distribution conspiracy between 3 parties, Demetrius Flannery, Dion Gatling, and Fidel Suarez. While Big Meech was the purported national leader of the Black Mafia family, BMF at the time, Cuffy was a member of St. Louis BMF who had substantial ties to other BMF members to facilitate the distribution of the drugs, and Fidel Suarez owned and operated a trucking company in California. Crucially, Big Meech was the link that brought all parties together and linked them with another person who is identified as CS1 in the court papers. Since Big Meech was in jail when all this went down around 2011, he introduced CS1 to Cuffy and Suarez as his representative on the outside. According to the document, based on information CS1 provided to DEA Atlanta agents, Flannery and Suarez became associated while both were incarcerated, and for money gain, Flannery arranged through CS1 for Suarez to provide cocaine in multiple kilogram quantities to Gatling. CS1 was later identified as Tammy Cowens. She served as Big Meech's personal assistant for several years, and the duo rumored to have had more than just a professional relationship. According to sources, acting on Big Meech's directions, Tammy Cowens became a police informant and worked with both Cuffy and Suarez for several months, gathering information that would eventually land Cuffy a 27-year prison sentence. As the controversy surrounding Big Meech's alleged third-party cooperation deal continued to dominate social media conversations, an audio recording of Cuffy
Oh well. Yeah, they. Oh, here you go, right here. It's an ad. My computer tripping. Alright, there we go.
If you're a web designer, here are 4 Wix Studio features you gotta know.
For that, man. Hit the button 4 times. We'll be alright.
Recording of Cuffy's daughter, Tamara Lene Gatling, was shared on X, in which she boldly accuses Big Meech of setting up her dad for a reduced sentence. In the recording, Tamara can be heard saying,
I'm Tamara Gatling. I'm making this recording in regards to my dad. He's Dion Gatling. Most people know him as Cuffy. But I wanted to make this recording so I can shed light on some facts. My dad was set up by one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Flannery, also known as Big Meech.
Tamara revealed that her dad and Meech had been friends for over 3 decades, and the closeness of their family made Meech's betrayal even more devastating. Tamara further added that Meech reached out to Cuffy in 2011 about creating a BMF movie, and that was about the same time he introduced him to Cowens. At the time, Meech was in jail, so Cowens served as his power of attorney, and also had Meech's life right, so all of Cuffy's dealings with Meech and his associates pretty much went through her. It was when Cuffy got arrested in 2014 that he realized he had been set up because all of the facts and evidence presented by the feds against him were information that was only available to one person, Tammy Cowens. According to Tamara,
Finally arrested my dad and we received the discovery. He knew exactly who CS1 was, and he told me and my mom that it was Tammy Cohen.
For context, the discovery Tamara refers to is the packet of evidence shared by prosecutors to help build a case. Once Cuffy reviewed it, he knew there was only one person capable of leaking such detailed information. Knowing the risks associated with being a police informant, many people have been left scratching their heads at the way Cowens has now turned on Big Meech. However, music executive Whack 100 isn't one of those surprised by Cowens' actions. During a recent live stream with DJ Academics, Whack 100 alleged that Cowens had 2 possible reasons to make her turn on Meech. He wanted his life rights back, or she felt abandoned by him after he got out of jail. Meech wanting his life rights back might explain Ross recently teasing 50 Cent about his plans to make a bigger BMF movie. Currently, Cowens has the life rights which she worked out with 50 Cent for the Starz series BMF, so the only way Ross could make a BMF movie is if Meech was able to get his life right back. If this is the case, then it's not so hard to see why Cowens would decide to join forces with 50 Cent to take down mutual foes. Whack 100 also added that in a bid to get back at Meech, Cowens opened up to 50 Cent about all the times that Meech told her to conspire with federal authorities in other street cases. Whack later doubled down on these points when he appeared on a recent episode of Vlad TV. During the interview, Whack told DJ Vlad that Cowens felt abandoned by Meech after he got out of jail and returned to his baby mama. According to Whack, Cowens had been doing all Meech's dirty work and stood by him all through his incarceration, believing that they had a future together. When Meech got released from jail and reunited with his baby mama, it was almost inevitable that Cowens would turn to the man she had been working with for several years and confide in him. And 50 Cent, being the type of man he is, armed himself with that information in preparation for the day Meech would decide to betray him. That day came when Meech linked up with 50's rival Rick Ross. Whack 100 said,
You say, well, why? They were good. Rick Ross hadn't done any of these things. Hey, man, 48 laws of power, right? 50 is going to prepare itself in the event or just in case you do try to do something to violate it. Look, this gonna get ugly.
Well, things have certainly gotten ugly over the last few weeks, and the whole drama has sent social media into a frenzy, with fans and celebrities split on their opinions. While some people believe that Meech snitched and deserves no respect, others have come out in his support and also criticized the rationale behind third-party snitching. Some others have noted that there's no way to prove that Cowens was being influenced by Meech and wasn't acting in her own capacity. Despite the pushback from some of Big Meech's supporters, Cuffy has continued to make sure that he has his say on the controversy. Earlier in February, he got on a live phone call with Blue Da Vinci and provided a detailed account of what transpired to help clear the doubts about Big Meech's culpability. While on a jail phone call, Cuffy explained the whole concept of the third-party deal. He said,
Google Fi Wireless has flexible phone plans that keep your family safe and connected.
Signed up to be a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut. Plain and
Louis Da Vinci then proceeded to ask Cuffy why Meech still ended up doing all that time in jail if he entered the third-party cooperation for a time cut. In response, Cuffy revealed that Meech didn't get a time cut because it came out that Cowens was having an illicit sexual relationship with one special agent, Keith Cromer, who was her first DEA handler. The affair tainted the case, and according to Cuffy, cost Meech his time cut. Cuffy was eventually indicted on 2 murder charges, and he pleaded guilty to 2 gun charges in exchange for them dropping the murder charges. In May 2019, Cuffy was sentenced to 27 years in prison. While announcing the sentence, U.S. Attorney Jeff Jensen said via a statement, "In murdering 2 men who knew about his criminal acts, Mr. Gatling took aim at the very foundation of the justice system." The case also led to dismissal of Special Agent Keith Cromer, who admitted to having an affair with Cowens, but denied having sex with her or falsifying documents to justify $212,000 in payments to her. But while Cuffy was languishing in his prison cell, Big Meech got into a celebratory mood on June 14, 2021, after U.S. District Judge David M. Lawson agreed to reduce his prison sentence by 3 years. Meech was previously convicted of running a nationwide continual criminal enterprise and conspiracy to launder money instruments, which raked in over $270 million in drug proceeds from the late 90s until the feds clamped down on BMF in 2007. Consequently, Meech was sentenced to 30 years in prison in September 2008. However, he was released from prison on October 16, 2024, but will serve the remainder of his sentence in a halfway house. The estimated release date from the halfway house is January 27, 2026, after which he will be subject to supervised release. The news of Meech's release was met with much fanfare, as rappers and celebrities alike took to social media to congratulate the former drug kingpin. Amongst those who welcomed Big Meech home in the early days was 50 Cent. The two seemed to be really close at the beginning, but that relationship quickly turned sour. Big Meech and 50 Cent's beef. Back in November 2024, 50 Cent caused quite a stir online when he finally linked up with BMF co-founder Big Meech. 50 took to his Instagram to share a picture of him posing next to the 56-year-old. In the caption, the rapper shouted out the BMF founder and added that the camera was rolling, which triggered speculation that the duo might be collaborating on some new project or the hit Stars series based on his infamous crime enterprise. 50 captioned the since-deleted post writing, "Greenlight Gang, Ultimate Hustler Edition, Camera Speed, Rolling and Action, BMF Big Meech." The two have always had a great working relationship, with Meech giving 50 Cent his blessings to produce the BMF documentary, Blowing Money Fast, and the Stars series BMF, which premiered on September 26, 2021. The series stars Big Meech's son, Lil Meech, portraying his father, and it is based on the story of the Flannery brothers, their rise from Detroit drug dealers to ruining a national crime syndicate that at some point doubled as an influential record label. The show was renewed for a 4th season in 2024, just as the 3rd season was set to premiere. The 4th season is set to premiere anytime between early to mid-2025 and will highlight the organization's growth into other cities such as Atlanta, St. Louis, and Miami in the 90s. So far, Lil Meech has starred in the series for 3 straight seasons, and he is on course to return for a 4th season. Although Lil Meech has performed excellently in his screen debut as an actor, 50 Cent was crucial in making it a success story. Lil Meech didn't start out as an actor and was more inclined to music, so it took quite some work to get him ready to take on the role. During a 2021 interview following the premiere of the show's 1st season, 50 Cent explained how he took Lil Meech under his wing and helped him get up to speed with what he needed as an actor. 50 said, "I moved to him from Atlanta to California, and I had him working with multiple acting coaches and doing different workshops. Everything was being taught to him." Nevertheless, 50 still gave Lil Meech credit for putting in the work and taking advantage of the opportunity. The 21 Questions rapper also reserved praise for Big Meech, whom he credited for providing the platform for Lil Meech to be able to embark on an unexpected career journey. He shared, "That's a bigger hit going on than the BMF show itself. His career is taking off because his father just provided a golden opportunity to not have to make the same decisions that he made," the rapper continued, "and it's all happened while Big Meech is incarcerated." Similarly, Lil Meech has also had quite a lot of great things to say about 50 Cent since the two began working together on BMF. At the March 2024 Season 3 premiere of the Stars series, media outlet The Source caught up with Lil Meech, and he spoke about a handful of topics, including his relationship with 50. The 24-year-old had the most positive things to say about the BMF creator. He said, "Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand-up. He's probably the most truthful person I've ever met. Everything he tells me, he stands on it." Lil Meech further adds, "That's important in life, loyalty and morals, actually meaning what you say. Ever since I've known him, he's always meant when he says, 'Shout out 50 Cent.'" Sadly, their relationship seems to have been caught up as collateral damage amidst 50's ongoing feud with Big Meech. 50 Cent first extended his beef with Big Meech to Lil Meech when he leaked alleged text messages from the actor that showed him confronting 50 about his recent attacks on his father. A portion of Lil Meech's alleged text messages reads, "I can't believe this man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human, I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you." The actor also addressed Big Meech's recent link-up with 50 Cent's longtime nemesis Rick Ross and claimed that it was only for money. He wrote, "Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life." Despite Lil Meech's attempt at mending
Producers, this plugin helps you finish your tracks way faster. Check this out. I'm gonna start with this loop that I made here.
Hey, tripping, man.
fences with 50 Cent. The rapper appeared to be unsympathetic to Lil Meech's approach as he captioned the image with the question, "What next season?" This could imply that 50 could recast his role in BMF or even cancel the show altogether. In a follow-up post, which has also been deleted, 50 Cent also mocked Lil Meech by suggesting he was going to end up on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, saying, "I'll give Mona Scott a call for him later today." The leaked chat sparked controversy, and rapper Boozy Badass, a self-confessed fan of Big Meech, didn't exactly like how Lil Meech seemed to be sucking up to 50 Cent. While speaking to Vlad TV, Boozy offered his opinion on the drama and revealed how he expected Lil Meech to have reacted to 50's constant attacks on his dad. Boozy admitted,
"I ain't like his response. It seemed like he got a genuine kind of love for 50 on his response. But, you know, my response, man, f*** you. Get at my daddy, f*** you. Let's go to war, f*** you."
Boozy's comments didn't go unnoticed by 50 Cent, and in a since-deleted Instagram post, 50 shared a clip of Boozy's intervention and captioned it writing, "I did more for Mimi than..."
Hey, so what came across? Y'all remember TK, bro? I guess he just got his sentencing or something like that.
Talking about the archetype. He looks like he's an evil villain in a Nickelodeon movie, bro. He's the kid in the Nickelodeon movie that provoke reactions like, "God darn you little twerp." Yeah, but he was far from a little twerp or anything innocent. He was originally arrested for 2 homicides.
17-year-old Tamor McIntyre has been arrested in New Jersey by the U.S. Marshal Service. He's been being held there pending his extradition back here to Texas. McIntyre, who's from Arlington, is suspected in a capital murder case and had been described as a violent fugitive. He's been the subject of a nationwide manhunt. New at 6, video of teen rapper TK as police question him about his role in a deadly home invasion in Mansfield. The video was shown to the jury this afternoon in Tamor McIntyre's capital murder trial. Jason Allen is live inside the Tim Curry Criminal Justice Center in Fort Worth with the details. Jason?
And Gilma, the doors of the court are just cracking open here behind me. It looks like they have just finished up for the evening. The jury today, not only in that video, heard Tamor McIntyre admit to being part of this crime when it happened, they also heard from a man who was shot that night and survived.
This video from almost 3 years ago shows a 16-year-old Tamor McIntyre in a small room with police, uncomfortable, wiping his eyes at times, and finally admitting to investigators he played a role in a home invasion and murder in Mansfield.
This dude is just deplorable on all levels. He went out completely sad. To regular people, he's deplorable because he's a murderer. And to the street dudes, he's deplorable because he's a rat. He told, right? But when he got arrested, he tried to play the "I was just a kid, officer. I was just a part of the home invasion that led to a murder. I don't know what I was doing. I was scared." And then he told on everybody involved. And then the officers realized, you aren't just a kid involved in this. You aren't just some type of innocent dude. No, because we got you on camera committing another homicide. This time, you were the shooter.
He was excited. His passion was photography. His passion was taking photographs and wanted to make that his career. He was young. He was just 20 years old. Tamor McIntyre was almost 17 years old.
30.
He was an up-and-coming rapper that contacted Mark about this photo shoot. And when Tamor came over to pick up Mark from his house, at his mother's house, Mark went outside with his backpack and his camera, very definable white type camera. Ran off to this car down the street, a black Kia. Little did he know he was getting into that car, and then we'd be falling off that car later on, shot by this individual that's sitting right over there.
They had ballistics, they had surveillance, they had 4K surveillance. The girlfriend who was there with TK, she testified. Overcooked, guilty. And eventually he was found guilty. But it's the post-conviction antics that's tickling my fancy, all right? These people are literally insane. So, first off, at the guilty verdict, right, his family initially thought that he got off scotch-free, and they began to make noise thanking Jesus in the court of law before hearing out the full judgment.
Let's be real here. This is a marketing ploy.
All right, it's the court's understanding from the deputy that a verdict has been reached in this case. This is what I'm going to tell all the parties who are present in this courtroom. There's not to be any outbursts. If there's an outburst, what's going to end up happening is a deputy is going to tap you on the shoulder. There's no need to get into a conversation with the deputy. That tap on the shoulder is meaning that you are to leave this courtroom, and you will only be allowed back in this courtroom if you're going to be a witness. Does everyone understand?
They'll let you know it's coming.
Is there anyone who cannot do that?
They'll let you know it's coming.
So, both parties for the state and the defense, if you need to talk to members who are currently in court, either with the state or the defense, you may do so now. Otherwise, I'm going to bring the jury in.
I think everyone knows to be on their best behavior, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my understanding that you've reached a verdict in this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that verdict unanimous?
Yes.
All right, if you will give the verdict form to Deputy Laura, please. Thank you. All right, if the defendant could please stand. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, not guilty of the offense of capital murder. What did I, excuse me, no. No, out of the courtroom. Out of the courtroom now.
Man, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man, this is bogus, bro.
Yes.
All right.
That was TK's family making that noise and that hoopla. They thought for a second that God's favor was shining upon this spawn of Satan, when that's the furthest thing from the truth. They were celebrating too early. Now, I don't know if nobody told them, but there's actually two charges, capital murder and regular murder. So capital murder has a lot of aggravating factors. You can look it up. Murder is clear cut, okay? So TK gets found not guilty of capital murder, which means he's not gonna get the death penalty, which is, I mean, to be honest, I think that's like an easy let out, bro. I want somebody to spend 100 years in jail. I don't want them to take the easy way out. So he eventually gets found guilty of actual murder because he did it. It's in 4K. There's no doubt that TK did this. And the fact that his family is celebrating this, which, I mean, yeah, that's...
Yeah, they should have just kept their mouth shut for a second, bro. Now they got put out the courtroom.
The family, cool, but you have to love people to an extent. You have to love people to a degree. Knowing this person did this and still celebrating, thinking he got off, to me is just insane.
Until people are invested, correct?
It got empty.
So it says, we the jury find the defendant Tamar McIntyre not guilty of the offense of capital murder as charged in the indictment. We the jury find the defendant Tamar McIntyre guilty of the lesser included offense of murder. Does anyone wish to have the jury polled?
Not the state, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and do you want them polled as to both counts?
As to the count of conviction, Your Honor.
All right, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you if...
Let's look at the face of TK here. And if you are not watching the video, you're watching the audio, I will break it down for you, bruh. This is the face of where bad decisions get you. He's sulking, he's staring into space, looking expressionless, face is blank. He understands he done messed up his life. I can't even begin to imagine sitting in a court of law knowing that I'm never coming home, knowing that I'm essentially going to die in a jail cell, going to die in a prison. And the funny thing about this too, bruh, is I'm gonna die in a prison knowing I have millions waiting home for me.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's messed up, bro. We're gonna go ahead and chill back, check out iTrack, man, with TikToks.
Switch to Google Fi Wireless with features like hotspot tethering and spam call blocking included. Our phone plans keep you.
And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go.
Now, this guy was the global CEO of rail infrastructure at the tech company Siemens. Now, this is not a conspiracy, but I do have some questions, though. They said this crash was due to mechanical failure when the propellers came completely off. And this trip was done by tourist company New York Helicopters, and this was the 6th trip of the day. Reports also say that the pilot radioed into ground control because of low fuel, so they're going to land to get more fuel shortly after takeoff. So no inspection, no fuel, and who is that? Because that's not the pilot. Actually, the pilot was Navy SEAL veteran Sean Johnson, so we can rule out DEI on this one. Now, being that he was at Siemens, let's take a look at recent activity, shall we? Siemens boosting investments by more than $10 billion for American manufacturing jobs, software, and AI infrastructure. BlackRock increases their stake in Siemens by over 5%, giving them more voting power on the board. Interesting. I just find it funny that every executive or CEO dealing with a catastrophe in the last 6 to 8 months, BlackRock had a stake in those companies. Not to mention, just late last year, Siemens was just found guilty for wire fraud against GE and Mitsubishi. It doesn't stop there. Also late last year, Siemens pled guilty to stealing confidential competitor information and settled for $104 million. They even got sued back in 2020 and had to pony up $89 million to a city in Mississippi over water meter mismanagement. Seems to be a lot of corruption going on. So the question is, what else did he know, being that they have a long laundry list of crimes and maybe they didn't want something to get out? Now, his whole bloodline just got wiped out in this crash, so he has no successors. So what's in his will? How much stock does he have? Where does his money go now? Seems like we have more questions than answers now, but what do you guys think is happening? Let me know below.
It kind of makes you feel like you need a flight manifesto for every flight you hop on so that you're not next to any kind of important person or, major CEO of any kind of publicly traded company, because it might not be a safe flight in that case. Let me know what you think, though.
Car runs out of fuel, the wheels don't fall off. So explain to me how, if a helicopter runs out of fuel, the rotor falls off. In case you missed it, Michael Roth, who is the owner of New York Helicopters, said prior to the crash, the pilot, quote, called in that he was landing because he needed fuel. It should have taken him about 3 minutes to arrive, but 20 minutes later, he didn't arrive. I'm sorry, this just sounds strange. It was a short sightseeing flight on the 6th flight of the day, so if you know you needed fuel, why would you take off? Also, it said as soon as the crash happened, the owner of the helicopter completely scrubbed his social media, literally removed his website and all social media accounts from the internet. And if you aren't aware of what happened yesterday, a high-profile tech exec, his wife, their 3 young children, and the pilot crashed into the Hudson, killing all of them. The family, who's from Spain, was visiting New York to celebrate one of their children's birthday. Witnesses say, seemingly out of nowhere, the helicopter started falling apart and then fell straight into the Hudson. It's reported that 4 of the victims died upon impact and 2 died at the hospital.
What they recorded has left TikTok buzzing.
Talking to the camera.
The child wants help? What child wants help?
Amid the crackling static, a distinct female voice suddenly emerges, clearly stating the name, Edna.
Edna? Okay, can you tell Edna to come to the panel and speak with me, please? Suspect. Suspect?
Shocked by this clear response, the investigators quickly follow up, asking Edna what message she wants to share. Without hesitation, the same voice cuts through again, distinctly uttering the chilling phrase, "They hide the truth."
When you grab my hand, they hide the truth.
A lot of speculation there's gonna be a really, really big tsunami.
Yeah, see, there's some shit happening.
There's a prophet, Ryo Tsuki. She made all of these different prophecies and they all came true. One of them being one day there's gonna be a virus, a pandemic.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna go into quarantine. That happened.
Yeah.
She said it's gonna disappear and come back though in 2030. So that's one of the prophecies she made. One of the predictions.
Yeah.
But another one is she predicts in July of 2025.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go to the Philippines, fam. I wanted to go to Japan this year.
That's in 3 months.
In July, yeah. But this prediction is for July 2025. A huge tsunami is gonna hit Asia.
Really?
Specifically around Japan and Philippines area.
Oh my God.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But the things that she predicted, yo, if she's right.
Nobody respects you because you're an option. People only respect what's unavoidable. You have to respect the waves in the ocean. You respect them or they eat you alive. True power is not about being noticed. It's about being impossible to ignore. This is day 8 of the path to power. Power is about control over attention. The world doesn't care about what's good. It only acknowledges what's constant, present, and dominant. The ones who control their space do not just wait for the world to notice them. They make sure the world has no other choice. Apple didn't just make a phone. They made it impossible for you to not carry one. So how do you become inevitable? Stop asking for attention, take it. Saturate every corner of your audience's life, be so consistent, so ever-present, that ignoring you feels impossible. Don't give people options, frame yourself as the only logical choice, the only answer. Become so crucial to their existence that not following you would hurt more than following. Control attention and you control the game.
It is time. Let's go ahead and launch your business and start strong in 2025. Go ahead and get your...
Now, for those that are running a business, he was dropping some real gems you might want to pick up.
This is the eerie moment terrified Russians shoot at mysterious UFO helicopter darting over Moscow. The ominous drone was blasted by paranoid Russian air defenses as they suffered a separate drone strike early on Thursday. Sinister footage shows a strange rotating object spinning over the Moscow region. It has a red center and is surrounded by a spinning white circular shell. Some suspected the red and white spinning aircraft was one of Ukraine's new RZ-500 helicopter drones. However, the RZ-500 has a maximum range of 186 miles, which is not far enough to reach Moscow. What do you think this strange device is?
CGI.
A lot of people use Dion Fortune's distinction between the occultist and the mystic. And I think she lumped some things together because there are actually 3 paths. There's the magician, the occultist, and the mystic. Okay, the magician works primarily with ritual, and his keynote is power. He's working with power, he's developing power, he's doing things with power. That's a very risky path. It can be enormously successful, it can be enormously self-destructive. The mystic path, its basic tool is prayer, and its keynote is love. Love for the divine, love for God, if you want to use that term, or for the gods, depending on your faith. But then there's the way of the occultist, and the occultist uses meditation as his primary practice, and his goal is wisdom.
CIA is essentially a corporate-founded organization whose job is to overthrow governments, to fix elections and overthrow governments, right? And most people think of the CIA as like an intelligence gathering agency because that's what it was supposed to do.
That's the name.
Exactly. Like they're supposed to get us information about all the threats to America. But what they actually do, like their very first mission was to go and overthrow the government of Italy. And what they basically did is they just sent a bunch of dudes with duffel bags full of cash into Italy back like right after World War II to buy out the Italian election. And it worked.
A mysterious triangular tower at Area 51 has been discovered on Google Maps, and people are speculating it could be alien technology. The imposing sci-fi worthy structure about 80 miles northwest of Las Vegas is circulating online after being spotted on Google Maps. On social media, people have compared it to a skyscraper, an exhaust vent, and even a Dyson air purifier. but its location at Area 51 is leading conspiracy theorists to speculate that it is somehow involved in alien contact. After a shot of the tower was posted online, one user said, "It's where the aliens test their various white powders." Someone else posted, "Obviously alien technology. It pops out when the Earth is done." Facebook users also joked about the identity of the tower, with one person calling it a new version of Jenga, the popular British board game. Yet another said, "The aliens are like, we can help you out, but we can't work in those square things you humans work in. We need our tall triangle-shaped building." Do you think aliens are among us?
I mean, they're definitely among us. But the real question is, are you able to tell when they're in your section?
1990s, Japan's new high-speed bullet trains ran into an unexpected problem. As they entered tunnels at high speeds, they pushed the air forward, compressing it inside and forcing it out the other side with a loud boom that disturbed nearby residents. One of the engineers, who also happened to be a bird watcher, noticed how kingfishers dive into water with barely a splash because of their long, streamlined beak. So they redesigned the train's nose to mimic the kingfisher's shape, eliminating the tunnel boom. Some of the smartest things you can do is look to nature. The answers are already there. The Creator designed them long before we asked the question. If you want more valuable and useful content, follow Valor G.
Hyperfocus.
Shout out iTrack, man, for the TikToks, bro. Y'all go subscribe to the channel, iTrack. We're gonna keep them going, rolling for a little minute.
Some of the smartest people on the internet have said the same exact thing. In fact, a lot of Terrence Howard's designs come from nature, right? And there's a lot more that agree on that principle.
That's crazy. Singing to it too is crazy. There's too much soul in the rock.
That Justin Bieber, just like Michael Jackson, is engaged in a war against musical executives, except the musical executives have gotten smarter over time. He wants out of Hollywood. He does not care about the money. He wants out. It is the same war which was fought by Michael Jackson. It is the same war which was fought by Ye. Okay, remember Ye going on rant talking about these contracts, which he said were predatory, contracts that artists could not get out of, contracts that artists signed when they were children, that they had no idea what these things meant. For example, they have no idea that if things go badly, they can't just go to the courts and resolve these issues publicly, because if the public can see what's going on in the courts and read the lawsuits, it changes things, right? Because we can read what Ryan and Blake and Justin Baldoni are saying, and we go, okay, well, there's a very clear winner in our imagination. I don't care how the press tries to spin it. Well, now these contracts are written so that these artists and these podcasters are forced to go into arbitration. And of course, if you're a child whose only person looking over your shoulder is your mother who had you when you were 16 years old, and you see the word arbitration, you have no idea what that means, what the context of that is. It means that it's private. It means that you have to go meet, and there's one person that gets to decide your fate, and gets to determine, one judge that gets to determine who's right and who's wrong. And of course, within LA and New York, we are learning more and more that these judges and these lawyers are in many times paid off, right? That especially within Hollywood, they own everything. Okay, I am talking about the agents, or in with the managers, or in with the judges, or in with the courtrooms. There is no way out for these artists.
Let me see if I get some good lighting here.
So I was really just wanting to see what the whole big fuss was about with the mirrors and stuff, and how they were moving and the shapes were moving. I didn't even realize it until after I watched the video back of that right there. I didn't even see it while the video was being recorded. I went back and looked over it, and here it is in slow motion, and you can see the eyes, the boop.
Good job, Whisper. Whisper. Good job. That's not a whisper. You have to whisper.
Nope. You whisper bark. You go woof. Yeah, like that. Woof. Good job. That's a better one.
Can you protect me more quietly?
That's opposite, no.
Speak. Good girl. Whisper.
Oh. No. No.
Yes. Yeah. Whisper. Whisper. Whisper.
I need to tell you something, but you gotta come here so I can whisper it to you.
You look like a potato.
Don't toot this time. You whisper.
That's crazy how smart dogs be, bro. I promise.
Quiet speak. Good girl. Quiet speak.
You feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past. I'm going to become so busy working on my future and my goals that I don't have time to think about the past.
Understand that it is you who is responsible for being in the position that you're in.
Taking full accountability of your life with all of the deficiencies that you have may be the most painful thing that you do when you look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is my fault. In saying, this is my fault, those are also the first 2 steps of progress, because it's my fault, not anyone else's, which means it's my responsibility and my action that can change that.
Not anybody else. You can't be making excuses. It is you. You are the result of why you are here today.
Here's how to never have to worry about money after a car accident. Listen.
For the TikToks, man. Y'all know I'm gonna throw a little bit of kinfolk in there before we get out of here. I came across a Rich Homie Quan video. Let's see what he said about Rich Homie Quan.
Now, it has come out today, September 5th, that Rich Homie Quan has passed away at the age of 34. Now, what's so crazy about this situation is a couple years back on Rich Homie Quan's debut and his only studio album that he released as a solo artist, Rich Homie Quan. He had a song on there called 34. And he's sitting here with the 34 right on his jersey. And I remember listening to the song, not knowing the gematria at the time. I'm like, this song hard as hell. Not even knowing the whole time that this was the foreshadowing that was going on the whole time. Where he got the 34 jersey right on his body and he's saying 34 all throughout the chorus. And the song is called 34. And it's on the only album that he has dropped. The only solo album. And peep him throwing up the devil horns on the slip. Then fast forward, he passes away at the age of 34. But come on, man, we gonna dive deeper into this situation and we gonna see what's really going on, man. Because not only did he drop this song called 34, if we look into Rich Homie Quan's real name, DeQuantez Devontae Lamar, his first and middle name, DeQuantez equals 34, and Devontae equals 34. Now, if you don't know what you're looking at, this is the practice of gematria, turning letters into their numerical value. And when we take these words, these names, and these phrases that we can't change, we take the numerical value behind them and we see what's really going on, man. That we have another case of murder by numbers.
Yeah.
If DeQuantez Devontae Lamar is passed on, then we have a case of murder by numbers, man. Even his first name, DeQuantez, equals 34, but come on.
Let's see where this go, man. You know, Kinfo be hitting us over the head with the back to back.
Now we're speaking at Rich Homie Quan being 34 years old. We have the murder of a rapper. When murder equals 34 and rapper equals 34. So did he know? Did he know when his time was coming? And this is the things that these people, it's so many artists that quote unquote foreshadow their death. At this point, it's no coincidence. These people are telling you what's going on. They telling you when they time gonna be up. When they time gonna be up on the shelf, man. This how long they lifespan, and it seems as if they understand. Because we have so many artists that then foreshadowed their death before it happened. Well, come on. Because along with the word murder and rapper, man, like I said, man, we have a case of murder by numbers. If we look at this movie, we can strategically see the number 3 and the number 8 in the cover. Now, Rich Homie Quan has passed away. Well, the news of Rich Homie Quan passing away has come out on 38-day numerology, right? Breaking that down, September 5th in the year 24, we have 38. Murder equals 38, rapper equals 38, killing equals 38. Another rapper added to the 38 list. We just talked about Fat Man Scoop the other day. What was that, yesterday or the day before that? We just talked about Fat Man Scoop having a 38 on him. And these rappers keep on passing away by this numerology. But come on. Because RIP equals 38. RHQ, the abbreviation for Rich Homie Quan, also equals 38. Not to mention that Rich Homie Quan's death is on the 338th day of his age. When Skull and Crossbones equals 1338 in the Sumerian cipher, man. Skull and Bones, man. We might have a Skull and Bones ritual on our hands. Because Rich Homie Quan's death is also on the 11th month and the 2nd day of his age, when the Brotherhood of Death equals 112.
A lot of this stay tied back.
Skull and Bones, the other name for Skull and Bones is the Brotherhood of Death. Now, if you watch the movie The Skull, they show you how this synchronizes killing your character, right? Going into a coffin and coming back out. So when we see these Skull and Bones numbers, with him foreshadowing this 34, this not really a number that you really hear a lot in the industry. I could see if the song was called like 33, but 34, that's very case specific. And for him to pass away at the same age, come on, man, he was giving you the play. But come on, man. And he's in a red jersey. He's in a red jersey wearing a 34 with a red jersey. Come on. Letting you know what was finna go down. Now, continuing on with Skull and Bones. If we look at his only album, Rich as in Spirit, and we look at the day that it was released, March 16th, 2018, and we take that, if we take that to the day of his passing, he passed away 6 years and 173 days later, when Yale University equals 173. Yale University is home of Skull and Bones, aka the Brotherhood of Death. But come on.
Looking to skyrocket your YouTube channel? Let Sprizzy boost you to the top. Using YouTube ads, Sprizzy targets viewers who are most likely to enjoy your content.
Oh, man.
Because even if we take the day that he passed away, September 5th, a day leaving 117 days left. If we take Rich Homie Quan's real name, DeQuantez Devontae Lamar, it equals 1107 in the reverse satanic cipher. Now, in numerology rules, zeros have no value, so we have 117. Rich Homie Quan is from Atlanta, home of Gucci Mane's 1017. So we see a whole lot of rappers. We just seen Enchanting pass away around Gucci Mane. We seen who is that, man? They say Gucci Mane got a 1017 curse. Everybody on there dead or in jail. Now we seen early on in Rich Homie Quan's career that Gucci Mane collabed with Rich Homie Quan. So there could be an Atlanta connection going on. This could be a sacrifice for the Atlanta rap scene once again, with Gucci Mane giving up his sacrifices with Enchanting. And who was that other rapper around? Big Scar, right? Man. Big Scar that passed away around Gucci. So now we have another artist, man. Another Atlanta artist, man. Not to mention, man, with this Yale University connection, that Yale was established in the year 1701. Look at the video that I did on Enchanting, and you'll see why Gucci, everybody that's around Gucci, is passing away around Skull and Bones.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Right?
I'm gonna have to find out.
Come on, man. Because his real name, man.
Or you can check it out on your own.
DeQuantez Devontae Lamar equals 337 in the English language backwards. Now, he passed away 337 days after his last birthday on this earth. 337 days later, DeQuantez Devontae Lamar passes away. But not even that, man. He also passes away 337 weeks after his debut and only studio album, Riches in Spirit. And he passes away 337 weeks after that. Even DeQuantez Devontae Lamar equals 257, 86, and 121. Just like the phrase blood sacrifice. So, with that being said, did he know? We got two options, man. That he knew his time was up, that he was going to be a blood sacrifice. And he knew that his time was going to be up, and they always put these things before they do it. They always show you before they do it. Right? So this could be him already knowing the play, already knowing the devil going to come collect at 34. Let me make this song called 34. Let me wear this jersey with the number 34 on it. Let me do predictive programming. Or this could be something that the industry was doing, because that debut album that he dropped, it was dropped by Motown Records. That's who Michael Jackson was signed by. Motown. He got his start from Motown. So this could be something. They could have been like, "Hey, Rich Homie, I think this would be a good video." You know, they give them writers and things like that. You should make a song called 34. Here, wear this jersey. You see what I'm saying? Set him up like that. Ain't no telling, man.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Let me see if we get some hoop highlights.
shit! Damn! I mean, oh shit! Damn! Oh shit! Another one, son! Oh fuck! You understand?
He said that's my brother.
You asleep, son? Oh shit!
Don't ever hit my brother like that, bro. Hey, bro. But look, bro, I ain't say shit about your sister.
Talk about my sister no more, bro. Like I said, now we cool, bro.
You got knocked the fuck out, man. Come on, motherfucker. If you're gonna fucking hit me,
I'm going to fuck hit you.
Oh fuck! Oh shit!
Get the fuck up. Get the fuck up.
Ooh. Oh. Let him get his hat, bro. Smack him, smack him, smack him. Make it, mock it. Me? Ooh.
That's it. That's it. That's it, babe. Come on, get him.
Yeah, he knocked him to stiffness.
This is West Side, motherfucker.
Stiff.
West Side. My bad. I'm telling you now, bro. I'm gonna knock you smooth the fuck out, bro.
West Side, bro.
You got my shit, bro.
Oh man. What the hell? Ooh.
I'll tell you fucking something, fucking mister. Don't fucking touch me, because I'll tell you what, I'll bang you so fucking hard. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Got it.
What y'all going on? She throw something at them or something? I think they was throwing stuff at him or something. I don't know what happened. Oh, that's too long, bro. Tripping. Ooh. Punched him. Punched him.
Yeah,
That's my fucking point. You don't know what careful, y'all. Be knocking people out in public, boy. They hit the back of their head. It's a murder. Oh, don't blow him down. Get that gun out of his hand. Uh-oh.
Go ahead, go ahead. Come on. You gotta go ahead. Go ahead, John. Get him. Get him.
Just run it over. It's over with.
Oh, man.
People be about to die falling on their face like that, boy. You hit that head wrong, it's over with for you. He smacked him like 5 times, bro. Yeah, get up there with him. I don't want no smoke. For some reason, I knew it was going to be a long video. Yeah, but, shout out, man. Appreciate you if you made it all the way to the end of the video. I'm about to check out, man. Yeah, shout out Call Me Kinfo, Black Balloons, iTrack, Drell, G Reacts, Perky. Y'all go subscribe to their channels, man. Hit the subscribe button. Shout out to the Parallel family.